Good evening and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Egbe, and today I'm going to be telling you guys the weirdest questions I've ever heard as an African living in the United States. Let's go. Okay, so this is not to diss anybody or bring down anybody, but for me personally, before I go ahead and ask some weird questions, I everything is so like at your palm now. Like, there's Google, there's different search engines, and the good thing is that you actually have these apps on your phone. So before you see somebody and ask stupid questions, just Google it or Bing it or something, search it somewhere. I'm not gonna say you should go to a library now because I know that is not gonna work. So let's go. So one of the weird questions that I really get, oh, comment, I should call it a comment, is people will say, oh, where are you from? Then I'll be like, Nigeria. And they'll be like, wow, you speak really good English. I'm like, thanks. I don't know how to, what do you say to that? Like, thank you. And they'll be like, yeah. So did you learn that when you came here? And you know what, trust me guys, if I have to give $1 for every time I've told somebody that we were colonized by the British, I will have $1 million by now. Then I'm like saying, yeah, we were colonized by the British, but thank you. So how did you learn this English now? Like, I'm like, yeah, when you go to school and English is our primary language. Okay, nice. Like, okay, thank you. Like, okay, whatever. So, and another question that I've been asked is, so this actually happened one day at work, and I was, R. Kelly was playing, and I was singing along, and this girl just came to me and she was like, wow, you know how to sing that? I'm like, yeah. And she was like, so there's a radio in where you're from? Like, I'm like, yeah, I grew up in a big city, you know. And she was like, wow, I always thought it was a village. I was like, no, but people do live in the village though, but I did not live in the village. So yeah, we got R. Kelly on lockdown. We know R. Kelly lyrics a lot in Nigeria because we really love him. And she was like, wow, nice, nice. I was like, okay, whatever, So, so, so another one that, that I've heard as a comment too is they'll be like, you're from Nigeria? I'll be like, yeah. They ask me where you're from because they hear the accent in my when I'm talking, and they'll be like, where you from? And I'm like, I'm from Nigeria, and they'll be like, wow, it must be really difficult being a girl child in Nigeria. So, actually, the first time I heard that, I was like, what? Like, you know. Yeah, well, they're like, yeah, you must be really lucky being in the United. Yeah, trust me, right? Yes, I am lucky living in the United States because I know I have more opportunities than many people around the world if I take advantage of it. But what do you mean lucky? Like, do they go about in Nigeria just killing female children? Like, So that I've never really gotten an answer to what they mean by you're very lucky being a girl child in the United States. Maybe one day. I don't know. Maybe if you guys know what they meant by that, you can tell me. You can leave a comment below and tell me. And so when you guys hear that noise, I live close to the airport, so we have a little airport close to my house here, and everybody, I guess they're always flying stuff. And another one, they'll keep asking me, so when they say, you from Nigeria? I'll be like, yeah, I'm from Nigeria. And they'll be like, are you from Lagos? So this is how they sound. So say like an American come to Nigeria and I ask them, "Are you from the United States?" And they'll be like, "Yeah." Then I'll ask them, "Are you from New York?" Like, really? Maybe it would be better if you ask me where I'm from in Nigeria instead of just assuming I'm from Lagos. I think because a lot of foreigners that come back home, like maybe come do business in Nigeria, their plane usually touch down in Lagos. So they, I don't know why they will assume that the only state in Lagos in Nigeria is Lagos. Do you guys know why? I don't know. Like, I've met some couple of smart ones and I've told them, no, I'm from Benin, not too far from Lagos. And they'll be like, oh yeah, read about, the terracotta art and, Benin bronze art actually. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm from Benin. And so that one is really good. When I look down, I'm just looking at my list and stuff like that. So this one actually this one is actually another one I hear a lot. When they ask me, "Are you from Nigeria?" I'll be like, "Yeah," and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, them Nigerian guys, 419." Actually, they don't call it 419. They say fraudsters. So I know what they mean. I know a lot of Nigerians do that, but I feel like that is a single story. It's like you say you're Nigerian now, and boom, it's 419. You talk about Nigeria government, and boom, it's corruption. There's more to Nigeria. It's sad though that that do happen a lot in Nigeria, but please, it's kind of a little embarrassing sometimes. And yeah, 419. And actually, this really was personal one time, and I was actually working with another African girl. I think she was from one of them African countries close to us. I don't think it's Sierra Leone. Maybe I think she was from Ivory Coast. So, and somebody came to work and left their bag in the break room. She didn't put it like in the locker. She left it in the just like in the regular, area in the break room where you can go eat your lunch and stuff. And she came in and it wasn't even a bag, mind you. She came in and she was just having a fit about someone else's bag. She was like, "Oh, them Nigerian men be taking people's credit card and opening credit card and doing credit card fraud." And I'm like, right there, like when they, like how they say in Benin, like when you beat in the eyes, the nose is also crying. So I'm like, right there, I'm like, even if she's talking about Nigerian dude, she might as well be referring to me. I felt guilty, even if I don't do that, but I guess it's something like when you put down a Nigerian in front of a Nigerian, it's like you're talking about all Nigerians, basically. So I just felt bad. I'm like, this is another African girl that should try and just protect Nigerian image, but she's not. But hey, I can't blame her, but I do blame her. But I can't blame her because, if you create a venue and that will make people look down on you, then you're bound to be looked down on. So and so this one was the one that got me. So one time, this dude was actually, I think he was from Mexico. He was asking me, he was like, "Where you from? Your accent." I was like, "I'm Nigerian." And he was like, "You from Africa?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm from Africa and I'm Nigerian." And he was like, "Do you have like lions and tigers roaming the street?" In my heart, like you can't really say, so, when you have to say what you think about people all the time out loud, then you're a mad person. But I couldn't really say it. Like, I'm like, is he for real? So I was laughing, thinking he was joking, not knowing this dude was for real. I was like, animals? No, no. This is a Nigeria consists of a lot of big cities. There are no animals just roaming around and stuff. And he was like, "Really? So you didn't have any pet lions?" I'm like, oh boy, this dude is for real. Like, he meant the question. I'm like, pet lion? Like, who keeps a pet lion? Not anyone I know in Nigeria. Pet goat, maybe, to be killed during the Christmas time, maybe. Not a pet lion. A pet lion is gonna grow up and eat your. Oh my god. I'm like, you know what? Then I stopped laughing. I'm like, this dude is for real. I'm not even gonna go there with him. You know. Because you can't win an argument with a stupid person. They're just gonna win you because they have experience in it. So I was like, whatever. Yeah, there are animals roaming everywhere in Nigeria. Like, just get down from the airport and a lion is gonna say, welcome to Africa, like in the Lion King or something. So, and this is another one I get. They'll be like, oh, you from Nigeria? Yeah. Oh, there's this Nigerian guy in my church, and they try to pronounce the name. Oh, do you know him? I'm like, okay, Nigeria is not like a little community where everybody knows everybody. It's not like, even in a little town, it's hard to know everybody. How do you expect me to know this guy? I'm like, no, no, I don't. But his name sounds familiar though. But no. Like, some ridiculous questions people ask you. It's like, it's like somebody saying, oh, there's a Jones in my church, and I'm like asking somebody else, like, do you know this Jones? Like, are you for real? Like, please don't ask people such ridiculous questions. So, and there's another one. So basically, I personally think this lady was being racist. Like how some people, they try to put you down and ask you racist questions. So I was talking to her. She was like, you're from Nigeria? I'm like, yeah. She was like, oh, did you come in a plane or you came in a boat? I'm like, do people still come in a boat? Like, wasn't that like slavery era? Or like, is she for real? Then, people like that, you don't even answer them. You just walk away for your sanity. If not, you're gonna pull a wig and wipe somebody's face with it. So I'm like, yeah, no. Yeah. Okay. So, and the last question, this actually happened a couple of weeks ago. This lady walked up to me. She was like, hey, you're from Africa, right? I'm like, yeah. Where you, what part? I'm like, Nigerian. She was like, yeah, wow. I'm planning to, go on a vacation to Africa, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, yeah, that would be fun. And she was like, yeah, I want to go I want to go see, motherland. She's African American. I'm like, yeah, that is really nice. That is really nice. It's good to, it's good to know your roots and stuff. She was like, yeah. And she was like, I want to stay in the bush. I'm like, what? She was like, yeah, bush. They're hot. They're like hot, like HUT, hot. And I want to see the women, with no clothes on and stuff like that, and with the animals. I'm like, oh no, she's for real. Like, I'm like, where are you gonna see that? She was like, in Africa. I was like, no, lady, yeah, no, Africa is not like that anymore. I don't know which Africa. I'm like, you're watching way too much TV. And she was like, no, and so I pull up a computer and I was like, lady. So I brought a couple of pictures of like Lekki in Lagos and big cities and stuff, even Benin City. And she was like, no, if I want to see that, I can just go outside and see that. I want to go see the hut and the huts and the animals, and I want to sleep in the bush. I'm like, yeah, that there's a place like that, but how you gonna get there? Like, I don't think we have like tourist guide to get you over there. Maybe there is. I don't know. There probably is a business for people like that now. People don't want to go live with the animals and stuff. So I was like, yeah, no. I don't know anything about that. I was like, yeah, I grew up in Nigeria, but I've never slept in a village. I've never slept in a hut. I've never walked around with animals, except we're trying to kill them for Christmas. And she was like, yeah. Then, and the part that got me was like, she was very like, with the village picture I showed her on the internet, like, village ladies, ladies that live in the village and people that live in the village, how they live in the hut, the mud, the red sand houses and stuff. And she was like, yeah, that's the Africa I want to go to. I was like, okay, there is Africa like that. And she was like, that's what Africa should be. I'm like, what do you mean that is what Africa should be? And she was like, yeah, when I hear Africa, it is supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to grow and be like Lekki or big cities like Lagos or Johannesburg. She was like, she's not going to Johannesburg. It's too modern for her. I'm like, lady, do you know Africa is a continent? She was like, yeah. And I was like, just like America, North America is a continent. And they started and they grew. That is what a continent is supposed to do. She was like, yeah, but I don't want Africa to grow. I just want it to stay like that. I'm like, okay, those are one of the people we should be praying against, prayer point. Please, God, don't answer our prayers for Africa not to grow. I'm like thinking to myself, is she for real? And like, there are some things you can't believe you're hearing it. She was like, yeah, that's the Africa. I want Africa to still like that, natural, with the ladies with the no clothes on, with the animals and the red houses, Oh yeah, I want to go there. I was like, yeah, good luck. Yeah, well, I was like, before you go, make sure you get your malaria shots updated. Yeah, you would definitely need that. And the typhoid shots too. So, oh yeah, so guys, those are one of the weirdest and most ridiculous questions I've heard, being a Nigerian living in the United States. And, there are a lot of smart people, way a lot of smart people, but man, I guess there must be ignorant people amongst us. So we're just gonna have to, deal with that, put up with that. So thanks to my previous subscribers, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And to my future subscribers, thank you. If you like this video, please give me like the video. If you like the video, please click the like button. And if you have any ridiculous questions people have asked you, please leave a comment below. Thank you and stay blessed. Bye bye.